Hello, my brilliant students, and welcome. If you're getting ready for WAEC, NECO, or JAMB, you are in the right place. Today, we're tackling a super important topic in commerce, financing business. We're going to break it all down so you can walk into that exam hall feeling 100% confident. Now listen up, why should you pay extra attention today? Because this topic, financing business, shows up every single year in your exams. I'm talking WAEC, NECO, and JAMB. It's not a question of if you'll see it, it's a question of how many marks you're going to get from it. And trust me, after today, it's going to be a lot. So here's our roadmap for today's lesson. First, we'll nail the definition of financing business. Then, we'll jump into the different sources and types of capital, the real meat of the topic. After that, yes, we're going to do some calculations and see how it all works here in Nigeria. And then the best part, we're going to solve real past questions together. Finally, we'll wrap it all up with a quick summary and some killer exam tips. Are you ready? Let's go. All right, section 1. What exactly is financing business? We have to start here, laying a solid foundation. Getting this basic definition right is your first step to impressing any examiner. So, what is it? Well, straight from the syllabus, financing business is simply the process a business uses to raise and manage the funds, what we call capital, that it needs. Needs for what? To start up, to run day-to-day, to expand, or even just to keep going. You can think of it as the fuel for any business engine. You know, whether you're a small trader in Balogun Market or a huge company like the Dangote Group, no financing means no business. Simple as that. And just so you can be sure we're on the right track, this is exactly what the syllabus demands you know. We're hitting every single point, the sources of finance, all the different types of capital, the calculations you'll face, the real-world problems of getting money in Nigeria, and even the role of the Bureau de Change. Everything you need for your exam on this topic is right here. Okay, moving on to section 2. Let's start building your knowledge blocks. We're diving deep now into the sources and types of capital. This is where the juicy marks are. So, let's get into it. First things first, you need to understand that finance comes from two main places. We have internal sources, which is basically money from inside the business itself. Think of the guys using your own pocket money. It's usually cheaper and there's no interest to pay. Then we have external sources. This is money you get from outside. And just like borrowing from someone, it often comes with strings attached, like paying interest or providing some form of security, which we call collateral. Now, this table right here, it's pure gold. Let's walk through it. For internal sources, you have personal savings, like a trader in Onitsha main market, using their own money to start. You also have plowing back of profits, which is just reusing profits to grow the business. Big companies like Zenith Bank do this all the time. Now, for the external sources, for long-term money, a company like Dangote Cement can sell shares. For medium-term needs, businesses can get loans from banks like First Bank or the Bank of Industry. And for those short-term cash needs, you've got things like a bank overdraft or buying goods on credit, something you see a lot with wholesalers in Aba. Even leasing, say a delivery truck, is a form of finance. You really need to know this table inside out. Okay, time for a quick check-in. Let's see if you're with me. Is a bank overdraft an internal or external source of finance? Where does the money come from? The business or the bank? The bank, right? So that makes it an external, short-term source of finance. If you got that, fantastic, you're on the right track. Okay, so we've been using this word a lot. Let's define it properly. Capital. What is it? Simply put, capital is the money or assets used to start and run a business. That's it. It's a core definition you must have in your head. Now, for big companies, capital from shares goes on a little journey, and you need to know the steps. It starts with authorized or nominal capital. That's the legal maximum amount of shares a company can ever issue. From that maximum, they offer a portion to the public. That's the issued capital. Then they ask the new shareholders to pay for a part of their shares. That's the called-up capital. And finally, the money that actually hits the company's bank account, that's your paid-up capital. See the flow? Authorized, to issued, to called up, to paid up. Now, besides share capital, there are a few other types you'll see in your exams, especially with calculations. Please, please, please pay attention to working capital. This is the money for all the day-to-day stuff, like paying salaries or buying new stock. The formula is current assets minus current liabilities. Then there's capital owned, which is what the business is really worth. And liquid capital is all about assets you can turn into cash really fast. All right, time for section 3. Let's get practical with calculations and the Nigerian context. Don't panic when you see numbers. This section is actually where you can pick up some very easy marks if you just know the rules of the game. Okay, I need you to grab a pen and paper right now. Seriously, these formulas are your best friends in the exam hall. You have to know them. Gross profit is your sales minus the cost of goods sold. Net profit is your gross profit minus all your other expenses. We just talked about working capital, current assets minus current liabilities, and turnover tells you how quickly you sell your stock. Memorize these. They are non-negotiable. Let's put one of those formulas to work. Imagine a trader in Lagos has current assets worth 450,000 naira and current liabilities of 180,000 naira. We want to find the working capital. Here's how you get full marks. Step 1. Always write the formula first. The examiner needs to see it. Step 2, plug in the numbers. So that's 450,000 minus 180,000. And step 3, give the final answer, which is 270,000 naira. See? Easy marks. Quick one for you. If a company has an issued capital of 500,000 naira, but it has only called up 400,000 naira, what's the unpaid capital? It's just simple subtraction, right? It's the part they issued but haven't asked for yet. So 500,000 minus 400,000 gives you 100,000 naira. Well done. Now, let's talk about the real world in Nigeria. Examiners love to ask about the practical challenges businesses face here, and there are a few. We're talking about really high interest rates from banks, the fact that they always demand collateral, which many new businesses don't have, the slow and frustrating paperwork, the scarcity of long-term funding, and of course, trying to survive in an economy with high inflation. These are major headaches for entrepreneurs. Okay, another specific thing the syllabus wants you to know, the Bureau de Change, or BDC. What are they? A Bureau de Change is just a company that is licensed by the Central Bank of Nigeria, the CBN, to legally buy and sell foreign currencies. You see them all over the place, helping people swap naira for dollars, pounds, and other currencies. So what role do they play? Well, they're super important for small-scale importers and business people who need foreign currency quickly. By doing this, they actually help to stabilize the naira. They also make it easier for tourists and international trade to happen, and of course, they create jobs and pay fees to the government. So they're a key part of our financial system. And now the moment of truth. Section 4, Solving Past Exam Questions. This is where the rubber meets the road. We're going to apply everything we've just learned to see how you can unlock every single mark available. Let's do this. Here we go. A real WAEC question. It asks, the amount of new capitals with which a new company proposes to be registered is called A, called up, B, nominal, C, fixed, D, issued, and E, circulating. What are the key words here? For me, it's proposes to be registered. So how do we crack this? That phrase, proposes to be registered, tells you we're talking about the maximum official amount the company is allowed to raise. And what do we call that maximum amount that's written in the company's registration documents? We call it authorized or nominal capital. So the correct answer is B. Be careful. A lot of people pick issued capital, but remember, issued is only the part that's offered, not the total possible amount. Let's try a JAMB question. Now, this one is about timing. A business organization can obtain long-term financing through, and your options are a bank overdraft, the sale of shares, credit purchases, or a Bureau de Change. The magic words here are long-term financing. Think 5 years or more. Let's eliminate the wrong answers. Bank overdraft? Nope, that's short-term. Credit purchases? Also short-term. Bureau de Change? They do forex. They don't give out long-term loans. So what's left? The sale of shares, which is the perfect example of long-term permanent capital. The answer is B. A common trap is picking Bureau de Change just because the name sounds financial. Don't fall for it. Okay, last one, a NECO-style calculation question. They've given us a bunch of figures from a balance sheet and they want us to find the acid test ratio. Don't let the name scare you. It's just another name for the quick ratio. Let's break it down. Here's the play-by-play. Step 1. Write the formula. Acid ratio is liquid assets divided by current liabilities. Step 2. Find your liquid assets. Now, this is the most important part. Liquid assets are current assets minus stock. So we add debtors, bank, and cash, which is 1,700 naira. Do not include the stock. That's the trap. Step 3, find your current liabilities. That's your creditors plus accruals, which comes to 2,300 naira. Final step, divide them. 1,700 naira divided by 2,300 naira is about 0.74 to 1. So your final answer is 0.74 to 1. You guys are doing great. We've been through a lot. Let's get to our final section, the key summary and exam tips. This is how we lock in the knowledge and make sure you're ready to absolutely smash your exams. Here's a quick recap card for you to screenshot or jot down. For sources, it's all about internal versus external. For capital types, remember that journey, nominal down to paid up. For formulas, if you remember nothing else, remember working capital is current assets minus current liabilities. Bureau de change, they are your licensed forex dealers. And the problems in Nigeria, think high interest and collateral.
Now, here's some powerful tips. 1. In theory questions, always define your term before you start explaining. 2. Use headings and bullet points. Make it easy for your examiner to give you marks. 3. For calculations, show all your steps. You can get marks for your method even if your final answer is wrong. And 4. Create a memory aid, an acronym, to remember lists, like the sources of finance. It really works. So, here's your final homework. Before your exam, make sure you can do everything on this list. Can you confidently list 8 sources of finance? Can you explain the difference between all the capital types? Can you solve calculation problems? If you can check off every box on this list, you are more than ready. And that is a wrap. You have just mastered one of the most critical topics in your entire commerce syllabus. Seriously, well done. You've done the work and you're absolutely ready to go in there and score your A1. If you found this lesson helpful, please like this video, share it with your classmates and friends who are also preparing for WAEC, NECO, and JAMB, and subscribe to our YouTube channel right now so you don't miss the next topic. Also visit www.examkp.com for thousands of free practice questions and answers. Let's snatch these exams together.